The term unemployed doctor shouldn't even be a term in South Africa. But the sad truth is, we've got unemployed doctors every year striving to serve their communities, but without the opportunity to do so. You've got unemployed doctors in the Eastern Cape that had to picket in front of the Premier's office. We've got doctors on the streets while patients are dying in queues at hospital. The real question should be is, these are essential workers, and what happened to the money?
Where is the money? Where's the money gone to? Remember in COVID, we were called essential workers. We're still essential even now, even post-COVID. We've always been essential.
Jonga, hihlazo nyan, and the sad truth is, as always, the people that suffer the most are the poorest of the poor. We've got doctors on the streets, guys, when they should be in hospitals treating patients. There shouldn't be queues in hospitals when there are so many doctors that are waiting and ready to serve their communities.
I was funded by the Gauteng Department of Health through medical school for about 5 years, and part of my contract was that I will need to work for the department for about 5 years after completing medical school to pay back the department for funding me through my medical education. And that only counts from ComServe. So far, I've worked for them 1 year and I owe them still 4 years. But right now, all I get is that the department does not have posts for us and we just have to wait, which is very confusing because I'm like, what if I get a job in the private sector? What if I just let myself go and I find a job in corporate medicine, and then the department all of a sudden has a job for me in 2 months or 3 months? What does that actually mean? Does it mean I leave my job? Does it mean I have to now pay them in cash? Like, it's very confusing because also when they tell you that they don't have a post for you, they're not letting you go. They're not saying, okay, we can release you from the contract since we don't have an offer for you, so you can go and be independent and do your own thing and not have to come back and pay back the department. So it's quite confusing. I don't know if there's people who have actually gone this route. Like, what did you do? Do you get a formal written consent to say that the department has released you from your duties, or what? Because it really I feel kind of stuck because I can't fully spread my wings, but also I don't have a job in the department.
I want to discuss something. Let's talk about, there's a lot of videos going around that is focused on doctors that is currently unemployed, right? Medical doctors. I'm a dentist, right? And I'm here to say it's not only doctors that are unemployed, but a lot of like people in other medical fields. Like, there's no jobs in government, or not enough. Like, for instance, if you think it was bad as a medical doctor and that 800 of them are unemployed, about 80%, if not 85 dentists is forced into the private sector because there's no jobs in public for them. Now, if you're saying that, actually, we don't really need dentists, we are okay, we need doctors, they need to create jobs for doctors in public instead of dentists, then you're probably okay with paying those hefty invoices that dentists in private is actually requesting. Okay, so if you think that it's just not necessary, then it's fine, keep it moving, scroll on. But those that think it is necessary, it is a big problem because service delivery in primary healthcare in its own is just, it's a mess. It's an actual mess. And so it's not just doctors, but it's OTs, it's physios, it's dentists, all those things that you think might not be an essential service, that is actually essential service, but our government is actually not doing anything about it and not creating a budget to employ these people. Because how is it that the only thing you can do in public sector, if you can find a clinic in your area, is an extraction? Like, please, like, it can't just be my tooth is sore and I'm here to extract it. Like, how is that actually a primary healthcare solution to good oral healthcare? It makes no sense.
Trigger warning, unemployed
doctors in South Africa, or maybe disclaimer, because apparently there are professionals or graduates who are tired of hearing about doctors being unemployed and the whole hullabaloo and this whole woo-ha about doctors being unemployed, which is strange because apparently they have also been unemployed for years and years, and they have not been making noise about it, and doctors are not special to fall into the same misfortune. Which, by the way, is very crazy if you ask me, because why are we debating about unemployment and who is suffering more from it and who should not be making noise about it because they just joined the struggle? We are in the same struggle. Do you understand that both of the parties involved, whether you're doctor, non-doctor, this is not supposed to be happening? Above and beyond that, if you're a person who is benefiting from the public health sector, you know how much doctors are needed, and you know how tedious it is to wait in those long lines, waiting to be seen by a doctor and being turned away because there are just no doctors. Like, this is not a fight just for doctors to earn money and to buy BMWs, because apparently that's also a problem. This is also, the health sector in South Africa is one of the quality indicators. The health services that the people are receiving is a quality indicator as to how well a country is doing, and we are not doing well, because the doctor to patient ratio in South Africa currently, it's bad. The health services in the public sector, it is very bad, and most of that, even though majority of the problems come from understaffing and lack of resources, but if there were more doctors, you can have a beautiful hospital, like top of the range, newly built, with no doctors and nurses and physiotherapists and pharmacists. That's just a building, by the way. That is just a building. And understanding, like, it's so crazy. It is so crazy that this is even a chat. Like, why is this even a chat? Like, we are not blaming the right people. We are not pointing fingers at the right people, which is the government. Because if you're unemployed and I'm also unemployed, why is the feud between you and me and not the person who's supposed to be employing us? Like, do you get my chat? And also, please don't come with the whole chat to about open your own practice. How many practices are going to be there in South Africa? And that's also private healthcare, by the way, which most of the population does not afford. So
the thing about being unemployed as a doctor is that no one actually believes you are. Even you're still in doubt. I was recently looking at my bank account, and at this point, the only thing I could afford to pay for my sins, and only if they're 50% off. Being unemployed still feels like finding out that the quiet girl in class is pregnant, you know? How? Uzama? How? I thought Mbali would go first. But I'm not like sulky or depressed or anything, you know? Because on the bright side, I'll get to say, I used to be poor. I had nothing. I used to sleep in my car, and it was an A class, not even a C. But I really won't lie, this is probably the toughest time in my life, man. Yo, mentally. And I've seen every rich person talk about when they used to struggle and how it made them stronger, you know? I just feel more hungry. At the same time, I'm motivated to write a book, you know? Like, what would I call it? Like the 5 Cent Club? Or Poor Dad, Poorer Dad? A true rags to rags story? You know, because I sold all the other rags. I could already see the headlines. The New York Times called it a shame. But honestly, I'm not going to lie, this has kind of changed my perspective on life. You know, I used to walk around and look at homeless people and I'm like, you're so lazy, that could never be me. Now I walk around and think to myself, damn, all the good spots are taken. I'm sure people were even shocked seeing doctors strike. We were there with our signs and everyone was confused. After 30 minutes, like, what are they striking for? Luckily, the pharmacists were there to translate. But I'm not even upset at the government. I'm more upset at my biology teacher. She used to say, Given, if you keep on talking in the back, you'll never get a job. Study like Solidus and you'll be employed. Last week, Given got a tender for 2 million.
Hey, obviously not disrespectful at all. I feel like if you are pursuing a career in medicine, then I'm just going to answer generally. You study for 6 years, you have your 2 years of internship, 1 year of community service, and now you're at my point where I've become an independent practitioner. So I would like to specialize, but to specialize, you have to do training through a government hospital. So you apply for posts, you wait to be called for interviews or to like just get one of those posts, which are very competitive. You also like maybe waiting for someone to retire or someone else to go into private, like before one of those posts become available. Obviously being a GP is like not for everyone, but it's also quite difficult. Like not everyone has the money to open up their own GP practice, so maybe you're gonna wait for like another GP to employ you, or yeah, like those are the routes you can take.
But there's a question that I want to ask the people of Limpopo. Do you guys know that your province does not have doctors? Do you guys know that in this year, your province has only employed 54 ComServe doctors? Do you guys know that there are well-skilled and qualified doctors that are sitting at home? Do you know that the big hospital that you guys refer to for the difficult cases and everything does not have enough doctors? Do you know that it has one functioning theater at night? I just want to understand if you know all that.